Coming up, what authorities say sparked this fire in east central Rapid City.
Plus, finally back home, a National Guard unit arrives in Sioux Falls after being away from their families for nearly a year. Good morning, this is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
Multiple agencies were called to help with a fire north of Blunt, South Dakota. Just after 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon, crews with the Blunt Rural Fire Department were called to the area of 306th Avenue near the railroad tracks for reports of a fire. A plume of smoke could be seen from Blunt.
Other departments responded as mutual aid, including the Herald, Oneida, and Fort Pierre fire departments. The fire was fully contained by 6. It reached 216 acres in size. No one was hurt. Authorities in Rapid City say fireworks are what caused a fire in the east central part of the city. Shortly after noon Thursday, crews with Rapid City Fire Department were called to grass fire behind Star Village Apartments. Crews arriving on scene found smoke and flames coming from the hill off Kellogg Place.
Firefighters were able to put the fire out quickly. It burned around 1/3 of an acre. Rapid City Police say the fire was sparked by kids shooting off fireworks. Officials remind residents that fireworks are illegal inside of Rapid City limits. Sioux Falls Police will have extra officers on duty to respond to fireworks calls over this weekend.
If your fireworks pop or fly, you're not allowed to shoot them off in the city of Sioux Falls. Additionally, law enforcement are also warning of fire danger.
The whole city and the state's really dry. It's a huge hazard this year alone just due to that.
Shooting off fireworks in Sioux Falls city limits could result in a $95 fine.
Turning to weather now, it's shaping up to be a hot holiday weekend here in KELOLAND.
Let's see how hot it could get with meteorologist Scott MUNDT. Good morning, Scott.
Well, good morning, you two. Something that we'll do is keep an eye on the record books as we do go through this coming weekend. Temperatures easily in the 90s. We even have 100-degree weather in our forecast, especially for Sunday, the actual 4th of July. We are looking at numbers to hit 100 degrees in central, northern, northeastern South Dakota. You could throw in parts of western KELOLAND as well. Numbers will remain hot next week, still in the 90s as we, I guess that it's technically cooler, and as we do get a little cooler, better chances for rain. And Brian KARSTENS will have more details on the KELOLAND Live Doppler forecast coming up.
Thanks, Scott. You'll want to think twice before starting a campfire this weekend.
With conditions remaining fairly dry throughout the state, a campfire could quickly turn into something much more if you're not careful.
By and large, most of the time, a lot of people don't take very good care to make sure that there's not a good clear area around that campfire, and they may be having a good time while they're there, and then when they pack up and leave and maybe don't put that campfire out completely, and it creeps outside of that little makeshift campfire ring and then starts a wildfire.
The National Forest Service is also reminding the public that no fireworks of any kind are allowed in the Black Hills National Forest Protection District. Well, after 10 months overseas, just under 200 soldiers finally returned home to their families.
The 196th Maneuver Enhancement Brigade came home to South Dakota yesterday after serving in the Horn of Africa. Several of the soldiers even came home to newborn babies.
It's a whirlwind. It's still kind of unreal, it just seems like, I don't know, like I said, it's the first time I met her. It's crazy. So.
Governor Kristi Noem, Senator John Thune, and Sioux Falls Mayor Paul Tenhaken spoke at the ceremony welcoming them home. And that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian KARSTENS. Good morning, Brian.
Great. Good morning. And as we take a look at weather today, hot conditions, high pressure ridge overhead. It looks like we do see the chance of a couple thunderstorms in the Black Hills tonight. That's something that we'll continue to give a little bit more attention to later today, but do want to mention that. And then whatever fires up out there, not likely to move east here tonight. Tomorrow, scorching hot south winds ahead of this trough. It looks like 15 to 30 mile an hour winds tomorrow in Mobridge. And boy, you got to be careful. That fire weather danger is very high. Humidity's low. Might spark a thunderstorm, maybe along that trough in the late afternoon. If that occurs, that too will not have much sustainability to the east. And if you think tomorrow's hot, Sunday probably worse. It's going to be between 100 and 105 for Aberdeen and Pierre. Huron's going to be close to that level. Sioux Falls 93, 94, somewhere around there. And then by Monday, it's still hot, but later in the evening, there could be a couple thunderstorm chances beginning to emerge. Tuesday, that is by far and away the most optimistic of the models, and it's the European, which we typically put a little more stock in that one. So let's continue to watch that. If we can manage some storms, wow, that would be nice. It's just a drought year, and we got to be careful there. A cautious approach on the chance of rain. Let's go into the 7 days now as we wrap up the segment here. 94 today in Mitchell, 90 in Brookings. Now, that 7-day forecast, I think we're going to endure the heat for 4 days, Sioux Falls, 90-degree weather. Then the chance of rain should knock down the temperature. If we get a better lock-in on that rain chance, maybe we can lower those numbers a little bit more. But that's still 5 days out. And then the end of next week, we're probably looking at another period of hot weather, and then we'll see what happens next. There is a chance we could roll in another low-pressure area, but that's getting beyond day 7. And Pierre and Aberdeen, that's a tough 4 days. I mean, 90s and 100s, even the possibility of surging to 100 degrees by Thursday of next week is still on the table. And I think for Rapid City, it kind of looks like Monday, Tuesday is our one shot of moisture. So drying out there as well for the areas that have had more rain. Check out details online at KELOLAND.com. Have a good weekend.